Intro time. Watch this to make your reselling better. Photo editing, high sales, all the cash. Watch this. Okay, so stage 2, the this could work. That's what I called it. Maybe 200 items listed, and your brain's just starting to go, okay, well, I did the first step and we got some money. This is kind of fun. I get to find treasure, get to make some money off it, get to send out fun packages, all of that good stuff. For us, if we have a look at our data, we went really hard in October, and then that led to like a nice November, December. You've got to remember some seasonality patterns here. We flattened out and actually put in some less effort, which we can see in the middle of the year here. But from October being a $500 sales month, December we had a almost $3,500 sales month, and that came from cranking up the effort and trying to do the basics better. Our photos were still pretty terrible. We didn't use anything special there. Our descriptions still need a load of work. We were getting better at comping the items, so even though they looked awful, they were still the cheaper items on the market. And we also started to find our niche a little bit in terms of what we enjoyed selling and where we were making a bit of profit. And so what did that look like? That was maybe 10 to 20 hours a week between us. Let's get my face out of the way. And we actually started having that sales money coming in so we could go and thrift and buy stuff. We still had to balance it at that stage. So the money in, we'd have to make sure that the Etsy money or the Poshmark money came in and actually gave us that. So we had money to go and buy new stock. So it wasn't like we just could go anytime and buy anything we wanted. We still had to manage the funds a little bit. And I also think at this stage it's worth saying we started cross-platform selling. So that's where we started in Poshmark and started seeing some nice success there, as well as everyone buying sweaters on Etsy. So you're probably in the stage where maybe your money's coming in, you've got 200 items, you're a little bit paycheck to paycheck in terms of you buy when you get that money. And then you've got your knowledge as well, right? So you're kind of getting there with the basics. We still don't get all the basics right. I still come across some of our listings that are just awful. So we try and improve them, but trying to get the basics right. And really that's, you're familiar with your platform or platforms. If you're cross-listing, you're taking better photos, you're describing and titling your items properly. And you've probably started to look a little bit about sourcing. And this is one that we're going to talk about down here in our Learn section. But you've maybe started to go, this brand sold well, I'll try and pick up more of it. And then you maybe watch a YouTube video where someone's gone, here are the 50 best men's brands or women's brands to look out for. So you've maybe started to gain that knowledge. At this stage, we didn't do this. I wish we had. Consistency is going to be king, and that's what we're still trying to put into our work right now and our understanding. But you need items listed in order to make sales, in order to grow your closet, in order to make more money and that kind of stuff. So along with your effort, if you were going to put effort into almost nothing else and you decided that you had only X amount of time, you just want to get items listed. And what I'd be aiming for here is X a day, right? So, it may be one a day. That's still 30 items listed a month. And by the time you've sourced it and photographed it and put it on, that could seem like quite a lot. I would say 1 to 5 a day at this stage will quickly, with sourcing and everything like that, quickly take up your 10 to 20 hours. But it does mean you'll be listing 150 items a month, which for us, it is, if we're selling 150 items a month, it looks like we'll make about $8,000 in sales off that. So that's what that is for us. Learning again, this one's going to stick here, as does List, surprisingly. So again, ton of great YouTube channels. They'll be linked at the end. But if you want to focus on learning subjects at this stage, I would be saying inventory management, So how do you stay organized? We got into arguments about lost items that apparently I put somewhere, or she put somewhere. We never actually fully lost one. We just lost hours of our day trying to find it, or it was in a box or a pile somewhere. So YouTube and look up some inventory systems. We've got our own, so if people are interested, shout and I'll talk you through ours. I guess that's the YouTube thing. Comment on the video. Give me your interaction. So comment about that if you want to see ours. Next one I'd say is photos. Photos are really, as well as listing things, photos are really what's gonna sell your item. We sell things that we photograph better than others for more money. So for instance, I'll take the example of the sweaters that we sell on Etsy for $70, $80. It costs us $5 to pick them up, whatever it is. Those same sweaters sell on eBay for essentially $20, $25. The reason we can occasionally get those higher sales is because Lindsay will model them, take them in good light, get good close-ups, all of that good stuff. So we get more of a human and a feel factor to it, and then we can demand a higher price and get more of an emotive connection. So one to think about, your photos can always be better. We've been trying to improve our flat lays recently. So what you'll also want to do at this stage is, how do you improve your photo setup? That maybe you get some, about this stage for us. So it was January, February last year. So 5 months in, let's say, we, instead of buying stock, we invested the money in a lighting setup. So we bought a couple of lights off eBay or off Amazon for $100. And then we tried to find somewhere that we could put them up, like hang them nicely and lay them down flat and then get good photos and all that kind of stuff. You may also want to look at photo apps at this stage. You could do it earlier, but they might just be a little bit of money or a little bit more effort than you have time for. But the editing apps, like I think it's Photo Room that we use the pro version of that. And that will essentially edit all your photos for you, like remove backgrounds. I wouldn't advise editing any colors or anything like that unless you know that your camera has like saturated the light out of it. But it will remove the backgrounds, and so you can then put like a white background or a gray background in it, and it just looks really clean. So we've actually just started using that for our flat lays in the last couple of months, and it's been awesome. And then the final thing here is going to be building your knowledge on sourcing. So again, ton of good channels, but I'd be looking at some YouTube videos that tell you about BOLOs. Your brands, be on lookout. Things to be on the lookout for. So every reseller channel seems to do this because I think people like it. But again, I'll link to some guys that do it really well below. So research so that you're in the store, that's going to help your sourcing, so that you're starting to branch out on items and you'll come across something and be like, oh, person X talked about this. Get it in, sell it, see what happens. And then you also maybe want to start paying attention to sell-through rate. This is something you can look at on Poshmark and eBay. It's a little bit manual. But essentially, when you are looking up an item's comparison price, you roughly want to see how many of that item is available and how many have sold. So essentially, you're looking for a ratio where loads have sold and there are very little available. So if you go on eBay and search Patagonia Chinchilla fleece, right, there's maybe 100 available. And then you're going to go and you're going to hit the little sold tag or sold filter, and it's going to show you that 400 sold. So essentially that 4-to-1 ratio, 400% sell-through rate, means that that item is in high demand. What you don't really want to be doing, or you'll find it hard to move items at this stage, is buy things that there are lots available. So, you've got J. Crew sweater, right? You've got 1,000 of that sweater available and 100 have sold, because you've got to stand out of a crowd of 1,000. And even then, people aren't even buying it that frequently. So have a Google of sell-through rate, get a YouTube video that explains it to you and shows you how to look it up. And again, if people are interested, we can talk about this more with comments and likes and subscribes, because that's what YouTube has conditioned me to tell you. Outro. Crushed it. Video editing, 10 out of 10. I've already done the likes and subscribes in this editing part, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, do all that. Tell me what you want to see next. I mean, you're going to see part 3 next because it was 37 minutes long. I'll catch you.